Hello everyone, I am Fiona Walsh McDonald. I'm here from Student Hubs, and to introduce who we are. So we are a social action charity. So as Sophie said earlier, we're one of the university people here today. We are really about supporting students to make change in their local community, taking a based approach through tackling social and environmental challenges, and we work in partnership with UK universities to do that. One of the things that we want students to take away from our programmes and to take away for their lives is an approach to being an active citizen. So what we see is an intersection between a sense of belonging through taking part in these activities, building those really key skills for life, so their professional skills, their employability skills, building confidence, which we know is a huge challenge for a lot of students at the moment, particularly thinking about COVID and how students are moving on from that experience. But also the hope to imagine a better future, which, thinking about what we heard today about the kind of the bleakness of the sector and kind of the bleakness of what we see in society, I think hope is a really big thing that we want to foster in students at the moment, and for them really being able to see that they can make change on a local level, which is then a stepping point to making change on a national level and ultimately a global level as well. So we wanted to focus today a bit about some of our work in Bristol, so engaging University of Bristol students with social and environmental challenges. And we do that in a variety of different ways at the University of Bristol. So we have a range of volunteering programmes. They focus on different social issues, so things like engaging with intergenerational older residents in the community, sharing their stories and sharing their lived experiences. We also have a range of what we call skilled placements, so thinking about giving students the opportunities to be consultants in their local community. One of our programmes is about climate action, so Climate Action Bristol, supporting students to have that experience of actually supporting local businesses to create a climate action plan and to make that change. And that really came from the fact that we know a lot of students are very interested and are very passionate about climate action, but also the City of Bristol has made a big commitment to tackling climate action. So this was a great way for us to work in partnership with the university and directly with students to be at the forefront of that change. We also have programmes like the Social Innovation Programme. So again, that is around student consultancy. And in the past, we thought about different social issues that we can work with. So for example, during COVID, food poverty was a real issue and still is a real issue. So we specifically focused that programme on how we could support local food bank charities and really kind of directing student action to issues and causes that needed the most support. Other ways that we support students, so we have a student leadership committee. Students are very much at the heart of what we do as Student Hubs, it's in our name, but also thinking about how students can really be leaders in this work, but it requires us to think about the programmes and how they're involved in that work and how they're put in the centre of that. And we also provide lots of training, events and other one-off opportunities as well. So really thinking about our approach to space and what that looks like in practice. Thinking about meaning at the forefront, thinking about social and environmental issues. So we heard a bit this morning actually in the panel about don't just say that people are interested because they want to put it on their CV. And that is very much the experience that we have with a lot of our students. They might show up as a kind of gateway to thinking about their CV, to thinking about their careers or to other opportunities they're looking for. But actually what they stay for and what they continue doing this work for is the meaning that they find ultimately in these opportunities, in connecting with other students, in connecting with their community, in connecting with actually doing something tangible about a local issue that they're really passionate about. So I think there's certainly an opportunity when we're thinking about civic work and specifically space work to really tap into that piece that students do want to make change and they are really passionate about a lot of issues. Sometimes the challenge for them is finding the gateway into getting into these experiences, and that's what we can provide ultimately. Thinking about student leadership as well, so I wrote a blog for the NCIA debate stage, which is on the Civic Universities Network website, and really in that I want to encourage people to think about the role that student leaders specifically can play in this work. I really think, and what we see at Student Hubs is there's such an untapped resource in terms of students can do significantly more to support your programmes than maybe they are now. They can be having conversations with stakeholders, they can be leading training events, they can be supporting your recruitment of other students. We do that with our student committee, and we see it as being really effective as a way of supporting that bit of engagement with these issues. So really think about your student leaders And also think about your partner feedback. So we've already heard today about the importance of listening, and we really see the value of that piece of listening to the community and really making sure that you're tapping into what are the local issues and how can your support and your resources as the university support them to make change. So a bit of a snapshot of our impacts that we've seen in Bristol, but specifically want to draw your attention to thinking about some of our student statistics. So students saying that participating in these types of things enhance their university experience. 85, it's saying it enhanced their well-being. 100 of our students as part of the social innovation programme saying it enhanced their professional skills. And also 50 students actually agreeing it increased their engagement on their university course. So when we think about some of the issues that we're having at the moment in terms of students attending lectures or retention or thinking about progression for students, some of the issues that we know our senior leaders at universities are very concerned about at the moment. Actually, civic activity can be a gateway for this in terms of reintegrating those students into the community, into a peer network, into things that are meaningful to them in their community and make them feel like they belong and want to remain at university. So thinking about some of those pieces, civic work, and specifically thinking about the role of students in that space can be incredibly impactful, as well as obviously adding lots of organisational capacity to those smaller organisations in the city. So to kind of summarise from me about really our top tips from Student Hubs of kind of what we would encourage you as universities to do and think about in your practice, very much dream bigger on student involvement. There was a question that wasn't answered in the panel, which was about what is the role of student unions in this work. Student unions are an incredible resource. You should be tapping into them. We've certainly seen a lot of success where we've operated as a student society delivering this work, and we've been able to support that kind of structure, but also for students to really step up and lead as part of this work. That can be paid, it can be voluntary. We do it on a voluntary basis. Would highly recommend paid opportunities as well, recognising that that is a huge barrier for a lot of students at the moment. But really think about auditing that programme and thinking about what is the role that a student leader can play in this. How can I optimise this programme to support that and to be more person-focused? Really think about listening as well, so that continual dialogue with community partners. And as we've already heard today, recognising that that's not just one conversation, that's an ongoing conversation, and you have to keep them informed and you have to keep them in the loop, otherwise people will get disengaged, and you want to make sure that there is some accountability in the work that you're doing. And finally, just optimising for meaning. I think things are a little bit bleak at the moment, but instead of ignoring that, we should be thinking about the things that do give us hope. This work does give us hope. What can students actually do to make a tangible change? How can they see the impact they've made over 6 weeks or 12 weeks? Really thinking about that kind of local level is such a powerful tool for supporting students to understand that they can actually make change and that they can be leaders, and ultimately that they can be active citizens in this work as well. So really think about the value of the work that you're already doing in this space, and take that forward and make sure that's in your messaging to both your student leaders and to your senior leaders as well at your institution. But that is it from me. Any questions?